Hi, I'm Roger Legg and welcome to Roll or Die, a channel dedicated to all things tabletop. I love the fantasy genre. As a kid growing up, I read books by authors like Tolkien, Anthony Brooks, and fell in love with many, many more. Why was I drawn to these books? Well, I love the idea of a hero's journey. I love the concept of good triumphing over evil, of light over darkness. I love worlds that are fantastical with crazy creatures in all sorts and all sizes. For me, fantasy stories were places I could become more than myself as I identified with these characters. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to slay the dragon, rescue the girl, find the treasure, or destroy the One Ring? In the 1980s, I started playing a game called Dungeons and Dragons. And D&D, as we affectionately call it, is a fantasy tabletop role-playing game, or RPG, originally designed by Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson. What is unique about D&D is that it allows each player to create their own adventurer, their own unique character. And these characters embark upon imaginary adventures within a fantasy setting. I loved playing D&D as a kid. I played in my local Boy Scout troop, and I made memories back then that I will never forget. In the 1990s, of course, life happened in adulthood. I put D&D on the shelf for many years. But recently, with encouragement from some of my friends, I decided to venture back into the world of tabletop RPGs. And these videos will be my vlog about my adventures. Well, to make a long story a bit less long, let's fast forward to where we are today. I will be leading a group of my friends as we play through a campaign that I've been working on. So, brand new DM, brand new group of players, what could go wrong? Stay tuned to see what happens next. Now, to play a classic RPG, you need a few pieces. First, you need a system or a setting. It can be D&D, Pathfinder, or some other RPG system. But you need a world and rules for that world or that system that you enjoy playing. And for me, it was the classic D20 system, and I enjoyed the new D&D 5th edition rules. Now, in the D20 system, a player rolls a 20-sided die and adds modifiers based upon the natural aptitude of the character. And that aptitude can be defined by things like strength, dexterity, constitution, wisdom, charisma, intelligence, and maybe how skilled the character is in various fields, such as maybe combat and other situational modifiers. Now, the second thing you need is a group of players, people who are willing to enter into your theater of the mind and embark on heroic events of conquest and reward, or my friends and family. Finally, the last thing you need is a DM or a GM to guide them through the adventure. Now, the first decision I made when coming back to D&D was that I was going to DM a group and not just be in a group. What is a DM? A Dungeon Master, DM, is the storyteller who maintains the setting in which the adventures occur. He or she plays the role of the inhabitants of the game world. He is the NPCs they will interact with, the creatures the group will face off against, and ultimately, he will guide them towards heroic victory or tragic defeat. The other players form the party of adventurers, and they interact with the city's inhabitants and with each other. Together, they solve dilemmas that the party gets into, they engage in battles, they find treasure, they gain knowledge, and in the process, the characters can earn experience points in order to rise in levels and become increasingly more powerful. That is the basics of D&D. Okay, so that's going to wrap things up. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe below so that you can receive all the latest content brought to you by the Pod6 Network. Leave a comment below and let me know what you love about D&D, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Roll or Die.